My name is Jeremy Martinez, and I'd like to share a little bit about me. I'm from Southern California, and I went to school in a small town called El Monte, California, at Gidley Elementary School. And growing up, I hadn't had a lot of experiences with people who had gone into medicine, as I later did, or with folks who had done a lot with technology and the advanced type of things that you all are involved with now. I went to high school in Rosemead, California, and I was the first in my school from this school to attend an Ivy League university. I went to Harvard, and there I had a lot of new experiences, met lots of different types of people, and started to begin to learn that I had some of my own weaknesses, that I was not, the smartest person ever in my school. All of a sudden, I was a small fish in a big pond. I took a year off before I attended medical school and went to China and lived in a city called Nanjing, where I learned even more about different kinds of people and different ways of living. Following my time in China, I went to San Diego and went to UC San Diego School of Medicine, where I studied medicine. My plan was to become a family doctor, but as I learned, some of my interests were really more aligned with mental health. And so a subspecialty of medicine is psychiatry. And so I went on to study psychiatry in a training program with UCLA. And following my psychiatry training, did training in addiction medicine. So I had a number of skips along the way, which ultimately led me to where I work now, which is in Skid Row, downtown Los Angeles. I have a passion for working with individuals experiencing homelessness as a psychiatrist, working with both addiction and a number of other medical and mental health problems. And all of this is part of my journey, which really has informed some of the ways that I see myself, which is as not only a physician and a psychiatrist, but also an entrepreneur and a dreamer. Part of these dreams have included participating in various challenges. One of the things that I love is to think about new ideas, to think about ways to solve different kinds of problems. So in addition to practicing medicine, I've also participated in various types of challenges, including a challenge with Coinbase and Base 11, where I designed a model for using cryptocurrency for people who are unbanked in different parts of the world. But here I have a number of the different challenges that I've participated in. So for the Coinbase challenge, the idea that I had is to use shortwave radio. As you may know, shortwave radio can propagate around the world. The radio waves bounce off of the ionosphere and can be heard from different parts of the world when you listen to shortwave radio. Now, typical shortwave radio has these big skip zones. So HF here stands for high frequency radio. There are, while it can propagate long distances, there are big areas where the radio doesn't cover. Another way to use high frequency radio waves is something called NVIS, or near vertical incident skywave propagation. And with this type of propagation, the radio waves can be used to cover a large area. And the ability to do this allows you to potentially create a cryptocurrency platform, a way to share these radio waves using nodes that allow people in an area that doesn't have internet access to actually be able to use cryptocurrency. And one of the reasons that I came up with this model is that when dealing with individuals experiencing homelessness, they often don't have access to typical banking or finance. And when you don't have internet access either, it's a barrier to using something like cryptocurrency. So using a model like this would help people not only in the United States but around the world potentially to access a cryptocurrency, to actually have an ability to be banked. Now, I mentioned being an entrepreneur and a dreamer, and I wanted to share my most recent venture with you, which is taking what I've learned from mental health and working with real estate partners to figure out ways to use technology and design to address mental health in the built environment. So our company is called La'ai Communities. La'ai means tranquility or calmness, and it's a Hawaiian word. And the Hawaiian environment, natural environment, is really what's informed a lot of how we look at this. So architectural features can have a huge impact on mental health. When we have supportive housing environments created for people experiencing homelessness, oftentimes the architecture doesn't take into consideration how the different features such as lighting, such as sound, can impact people's mental health. So essentially, we're creating a new asset class of new architectural designs that are specifically used to improve mental health. So what we do is we partner with behavioral health service agencies, and our organization will identify and acquire property, creating space and design renovations that are appropriate for mental health. And we also monitor outcomes, which is also something that's not usually considered when placing people into a mental health housing setting. So using technology, we also have a design to have push-button soundscapes to create sensory environments for people that mimic nature, things like ocean sounds or rain, wind, other kinds of natural environment sounds, which can help people improve their sleep and also relaxation at the press of a button. And people with mental health problems are especially sensitive to the sound environment. So this is one of the reasons that this is important. Also, people with mental health problems, also their physical health can be affected by many things such as air quality, temperature, humidity. So part of the technology that we use also includes testing the air, making sure that that we have the ideal environment for people who are trying to recover from mental disorders. And we would have a central server that connects all of this information and can monitor the environment and create alerts in case something does go out of the range. In addition, part of what's unique about this is that we can have these hyper-personalized spaces that are attuned to people with individual different mental disorders, where we use neuropsychological testing online and then monitor their progress as time goes on. So this is something that is not generally included in real estate or in architecture, but taking this mental health approach is really a unique thing. And our team includes not only myself, but 3 other experts in real estate who have been doing this for a long time. And I bring the experience with mental health, working with the homeless, and designing housing. Now, this all seems maybe very disjointed, all of the different things that I've done, from working as a doctor to working on the streets with the homeless to real estate. But I want to bring to you just some thoughts of the lessons that I've learned as time has gone on. One thing is, don't be afraid to go against the flow. It's certainly not natural for, say, a doctor such as myself to participate in technology competitions or being involved with cryptocurrency. But I found it very rewarding to be able to bring my experiences to different areas of technology and science. And so I would encourage you, not to be discouraged if people tell you that, really what you're doing is not in line with the standard way of doing things. Also, when you do this, expect and embrace criticism. People are going to say that your ideas are bad. People are going to criticize you. And I find it very useful to pause and consider whether their criticism has any merit at all. Sometimes there is criticism that can make you much better and can improve your ideas. So don't automatically discredit any type of criticism that you receive, but expect it and consider whether it has any merit, and it may help you improve. Also, recognize those shortcomings and seek help. Something that I found very helpful throughout my career has been mentorship. If you can find mentors who have done the things that you want to do, they can be very valuable assets in helping you get to where you want to go. And many times, you're not going to be the best at everything that you do. And you may need to find partners who know how to do those things where you're weak. So with these projects that I'm working on, real estate, working in private equity is not my forte, but I have partners that know how to do those things. So, it's really important to recognize what you're able to do and what you aren't able to do. And that will help you to improve your overall situation. And most importantly, don't give up. I've faced several situations throughout my career where if it seemed like it wasn't going to be possible, whatever it was that I wanted to do, I sometimes felt like I was reaching a dead end. One example of this was when I first started in private practice psychiatry. After 3 months of seeing patients, seeing very few patients, not really attracting enough patients to my practice, I wasn't making enough money from the patients I was seeing to cover my rent. I almost gave up. But what I realized was after another month of trying, before I knew it, my practice was full and I had more patients than I could handle. And so if I had given up at that third month, I never would have seen that success. And I find that this is true very time and again. When you might find that it feels like you're reaching a dead end, it's important to keep trying. And so I'd like to thank you so much for having me. I hope that you're enjoying this conference and learning about all of these different ideas. Thank you for having somebody like myself who's probably not the typical tech entrepreneur, but I'm happy to share my experiences with you, and I want to encourage all of you to do your best and move forward with your dreams.